Hi, do you know the importance of full immersion even when you don't live in the country of the language you're studying? This is Susan Broder from Speak Languages and Travel the World, here to help you improve your English with minimum effort and maximum benefit. So, full immersion is really important, and if you live in a country where you're studying a language but it's not the language of the country, then it's exceptionally important to surround yourself with everything that has to do with the language you're studying. Now, I speak from experience because I grew up bilingual, and also my children grew up bilingual. Let's give an example. So my children grew up speaking Italian and English. English from me, Italian from their father. Now, they managed to learn the language absolutely perfectly, English, despite not living in England. And everybody who speaks to them thinks that they are British, that they grew up in Great Britain. Therefore, it means that the full immersion they had with books, TV, music and films, everything I exposed them to, and particularly me speaking to them, was sufficient to give them a basis in the language. And so I think it's really important that if you live in a country where, for example, you want to learn English, but you're not living in England, then you should do everything possible to surround yourself with the language. So, for example, you could put all your computer and TV settings, your mobile phone settings all into English. Also, your social media settings should all be in English. And well, then you should have a lot of music in English. You can listen to podcasts whilst you're cooking, whilst you're cleaning, whilst you're driving. You can watch films in English, you can read books. You have to do everything to surround yourself in the language so that you live a full immersion experience, even though you're not living in the country of the language you're studying. I have an example of two sisters who decided to learn English even though they weren't living in England, and when they're home they speak to each other in English. They're not perfect, but their English is incredibly good considering that they're only, I think, 15 years old or even younger. So this is proof that if you surround yourself with the language as much as possible in your own home, it will be sufficient to give you a really strong grounding in the language. And then, of course, it's also good to travel to the country and to correspond and maybe to take a couple of courses. But the full immersion effect is the most important thing. It's not sufficient just to do exercises and go to lessons. You have to immerse yourself and surround yourself in the language. Okay, so it's very important to do so, and I hope you take my advice. If you haven't subscribed already, please click here on the link, and see you again in the next video. And that's all for today. Bye!